Hello, everybody, and welcome to our panel Pokemon Snap, a video shitpost on the past and future of the Pokemon Snap franchise. My name is Max,
I'm Andrew.
and together we are the foundation for the preservation of Gen 1 Pokemon. You can follow us at 5th Gen, not PKMN, on Twitter or Twitch or YouTube. We're on a lot of things. That's what's important. And hello, MAGWest. I know that we're not interacting in person right now, and I know that's very upsetting to all of you, but I would like you to know that from the bottom of my heart, I wish that we could all hang out and not catch coronavirus and die in a fire. But that's not the reality we live in. But there's one good thing about the reality we live in. Andrew, do you know what that is?
No, I don't. What is it?
It's that Pokemon Snap 2 has finally been announced.
Ah,
After
huzzah.
20 long years, we're getting a Pokemon Snap 2.
I mean, it's almost as long as they waited for the Avatar.
It is. But unlike, as something that is such a cultural touchstone, I think we need to discuss the history of Pokemon Snap too.
Yeah.
And there's no better way to do that than start with trying to define art, which I think should be really easy and we can sum up in like 1 or 2 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So a lot of people have a lot of definitions for what art is, from fiction to architecture to paintings to pop culture to legacies and empire building. It really depends, but by at least some form of definition, all of these things are art. And what they all have in common is some way to immortalize themselves. I mean, you look at the first things that we as humans can look back and memorialize as art, and that is going to be cave paintings. And besides these being like wildly inaccurate, I mean, look at that. Are those, Andrew, are those horses?
Let me touch it up.
Yeah, let's HD this shit. Okay, there we go. Okay, we got some nice horses. I think that's a deer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. What's that thing in the middle though? Is that it's Ducky from the land. Okay, so clearly cavemen did not understand history, but we can understand cavemen's misinterpretation of history because they don't know how to draw. And that's because back then there wasn't a way to objectively immortalize what you were seeing. Anyone could draw a horse. Anyone could draw a deer. Anyone could draw a ducky. Anyone could draw a tree. But the difference is now you can take a picture of a tree, and suddenly it's not up to the interpretation of like, are they trying to draw a tree? Is it a political statement? Do they not understand history and think we live in a young Earth creationist world? No, they take a picture of a tree. It's immortalized. It's art. We've solved everything. Photography is art. Pokemon Snap has fixed the universe.
Thank goodness. Now,
So
where did this photography come from? Well, that was the invention of the camera way back in 1021. Well, hold up, but the camera was invented with Pokemon Snap. That's what I was taught, and that's right. Because before Pokemon Snap, we didn't have cameras. But luckily, known time traveler Shakespeare saved the day when he took the idea from Pokemon Snap and went back to 1021 to introduce the camera so we could actually have art and build up so Pokemon Snap would get the proper recognition it deserves. But now that we got pictures and Pokemon, where did the idea for Pokemon Snap really come from? Well, according to exhaustive research that I did online that took more than 10 minutes, it originally started out as a game called Jack and the Beanstalk. I don't know what you would take pictures of in there. Maybe cows. I'd take a picture of this cow, but not any other ones.
he's a happy boy.
Yes. But unfortunately, that doesn't sound very interesting. But then when I read into the mechanics of the game that they were trying to make, it somehow got even worse. It also had you growing plants, and these grew in real time. Of course, this was because they were utilizing the Nintendo 64 DD add-on. Thank goodness they abandoned that idea pretty quick, along with all of those other ideas, to actually give us Pokemon. Because when Pokemon was started getting big, they realized, hey, maybe we should actually give them something they want to take pictures of. And lo and behold, Pokemon Snap was born.
It was born. So now I think we have to talk about the mechanics that made Pokemon Snap, and allowed it to really revolutionize not only video games, but the world at large.
Mm-hmm. The first being the idea of a rail shooter. Before Pokemon Snap came out, all of the shooter games, they were open world, and they were really confusing. You got lost, you got murdered by dinosaurs, you just didn't have a good time. But Pokemon Snap introduced a literal rail that you were moving along. Now you didn't have to worry about that. You didn't have to worry about getting mauled by a Velociraptor. It was great. You could actually enjoy the time and have fun. The second thing they did was with the whole rail shooter genre was because now that this existed, other people had to copy it. So a couple of the first ones to borrow heavily from this was, of course, the Left 4 Dead franchise, because they wanted to do a rail shooter as well. And as time went on, they kind of evolved, and they tried out different things. They tried big cameras and small cameras. That was really how they evolved the formula.
And at some point, some bloodthirsty monster decided, you know what, rail shooters need actual carnage. Taking pictures of zombies isn't enough. We need to bash their skulls in. And this revolutionary made the game Mavis Beacon Teaches the Typing of the Dead, which at the time was the most violent video game ever constructed. However, upon its release, it caused a cavalcade of violence in games where people suddenly realized, oh, these don't have to be wholesome, family-friendly entertainment. They can just be giant bloodfests. And you got stuff like Bulletstorm, where it's just all bullets and bits flying everywhere. And it makes sense, though, that in 2020, the year that we get Pokemon Snap 2, we also get the most violent video game ever conceived for the Nintendo Switch, which is, of course, Knife Fight Simulator, which is good once, depending on if you win or not.
Man, I can't wait to get that for my brother.
You mean get rid of your brother?
Also, yes. Anyways,
it's great. The game comes with a legal release,
ooh,
so you can just kill him and you're fine.
Oh, it's even better. I thought I'd have to rot in prison for this. Oh well. But
Nope.
the next mechanic that really impacted the world was, of course, the turbo boost. Before this, everything was slow, but turbo, all of a sudden people realized we could go fast. We could add NOS to things. The invention of NOS is directly attributed to the turbo boost in Pokemon Snap. Before NOS and before the turbo boost, we had low-speed chases like O.J. Simpson. Everyone was driving a jalopy, 15 miles per hour max. But now that we got NOS and turbo, we could go fast, like Fast and the Furious. They even designed their cars to have the same color scheme as the Pokemon Snap vehicle. And this didn't just invent the whole racing idea for Fast and the Furious. It invented racing and kart racing as a whole. So we can thank Pokemon Snap for Walt Disney World Quest Magical Racing Tour, as well as the likes of Mario Kart and such.
The next revolutionary idea introduced in Pokemon Snap was the apple. Not the concept of the apple. Though that is up for debate. There are some people who believe Pokemon Snap invented the apple, but I firmly believe that was created by Luther Burbank in the late 1800s. No. The idea of using an apple to lure things in. Until Pokemon Snap, the primary use of the apple was to keep doctors away. It was a deterrent. But then after Pokemon Snap came out, and you'd like drive your cart around and you'd throw an apple and you'd get all of these cute Vulpix showing up. And you'd sit there and watch that for, 3 hours until you get bored and throw the Moltres egg off into the ocean or whatever. And people realized, wait, what if I did this in the real world? So people started going to their local lakes and ponds and feeding the ducks. And before Pokemon Snap, there was half a duck per local lake because very few lakes are able to ecologically support a duck. But once everyone showed up and started feeding them, it went through the duck grapevine, gossiped, and suddenly there were millions of ducks at every lake, and it was crazy. But, there was a problem there because humans and ducks, they lived in harmony until the Canadian geese attacked. And it was a fucking shit show. They'd show up, they'd just attack your dad, they'd attack your brother because he chased it around. And they're assholes. Basically, Canadian geese suck. They're a blight upon Canada. We need to build a wall. Like the one we're building at the southern border, that's the wrong place for us to build a wall. We need to build that at the northern border. There we go. Thank you. This is the only way we can keep those pesky Canadian geese out of our country. Never mind. At least, on the bright side, we did get the Untitled Goose Game out of the whole fiasco, and I don't know, I love running around as a goose and pestering people, and that kid looks kind of like Donald Trump, so it feels really good to scare the shit out of him, lock him in a phone booth, and then untie his shoes and trip his ass.
Ah, good times. Speaking of
Fuck that
pestering,
kid and
our
fuck
next
that
mechanic is, of
president.
course, the Pasture Ball. Yes, the thing that is the equivalent of just an annoying text message or even a dick pic. You don't want that. It just ruins your day when you find it in your breakfast cereal. But it did cause some unrest in the world at large because the American police force saw this and realized this was exactly what they needed. So now every police training manual just involves getting them to understand how to throw pester balls in Pokemon Snap. And all of a sudden, like, people stand still for photographs. It's great. You hate it though, but the Pokemon hated it in Snap as well, but we didn't care. We just got our great photos. And then,
At least Pasture Balls are banned in Portland now. I don't know.
we'll see if they actually listen.
Yeah.
I think they're too high of a level for the mayor's gym badge.
Oh yeah, those protesters are really high level in Portland.
Yeah. All right. Well, our next mechanic is branching paths. Before Pokemon Snap, you didn't make choices in video games. The only things were like, did I shoot this zombie or did he maul my face off? That's not really a choice. Now, Pokemon Snap came out and introduced the idea of branching paths. Did you do all these little things required to make this Porygon spawn? No? Well, then you're doing River 6 more times until you give it up and look up how to make it spawn. And if you looked it up, then you get to go to Cave.
The next revolutionary idea was Pokemon Snap was effectively a predecessor to alternative reality games, in that in order to really maximize your Pokemon Snap experience, you would have to go to the local Blockbuster. And everyone loves Blockbuster. I have so many fond memories of going to Blockbuster, them being out of every single movie I wanted to rent, and then instead renting Land Before Time 4 for the 8th time because they said Butthead in it, and I thought that was pretty funny when I was a kid. But anyway, it's Blockbusters are great. They're an artifact of America. They should live on forever. And thanks to Pokemon Snap, they really, it helped them out. You'd go to a Blockbuster, they'd have this kiosk set up, and you would take your Pokemon Snap game cartridge to the Blockbuster, plug it into their, kiosk N64 shit, and then it would print out all of those Pokemon pictures you took, which is just, let's be honest, way better than Instagram. Like, Pokemon Snap kiosk, Instagram. And this success did reflect upon Blockbuster stock price. Here's a graph of Blockbuster stock price over time. At this point is where Pokemon Snap 1 released. And you saw it was a big jump. They went up from about $10 a share to $30 a share over a year, which is impressive. But I think that when Pokemon Snap 2 comes out, we're going to see an even larger change. I think their stock price will go so high even Vegeta cannot fathom the numbers.
And finally, Pokemon Snap also spearheaded the idea of antipiracy. In all of the cracked versions of the game on emulators, it didn't run. All of the photos were black. It just something weird with the emulation, but people couldn't get it to work. So if you wanted to play Pokemon Snap, you were stuck buying it or going through Virtual Console on the Wii U. Or no, it was the Wii. But still, it was the best anti-piracy you could have.
Yeah, it was great. So now that we've covered how Pokemon Snap has revolutionized the world, I think we need to go over what we want for Pokemon Snap sequel. Because it's been 2 decades. Nintendo, you've left us to sit and stew on this shit, and we have demands.
And they're very important that they're met.
Very
Otherwise, important. I don't know, I won't buy 6 copies. I'll only buy 4.
Yeah, I mean, I just won't. I'll just pirate it. Hopefully the midges just come out this time.
We'll see. All right, but my first demand, first off, is to let Professor Oak do it. Whatever's going on in this image, I don't know. I just found it, but it was too good not to let it happen. So just let Oak do his thing. I don't care what it does to the game's rating. Just let it happen.
Yeah, we can earn that M rating. Next, now, I think that because it's been so long, Pokemon Snap 2 really needs a grounded protagonist we can all relate to. Todd Snap was fine. Don't get me wrong, but he's an artifact of the late 90s, and we're in 2020, a world of hellscape and fire. So, a lot of you probably know this. If you're unfamiliar with us, we do actually own the rights to Waluigi. We received them in a Mario Tennis match against Sakurai and Shigeru Miyamoto. And that's actually why Waluigi's not in Smash right now. We're in prolonged contractual arguments over what his moveset will be. Currently, we're just really upset with what Sakurai's offering, and we want so much more. But as a sign of good faith and to lend credibility to this game, we are willing to give Nintendo our rights of Waluigi to put him in Pokemon Snap 2 for free. That's right. You will play as one of the most grounded, realistic characters Nintendo has ever conceived in this game. Next, I don't think Pokemon Snap 2 should be released for the Switch. I know that's a hot take, and you're asking, well, what should it come out for? The Wii U. And this is because when it comes down to it, the Wii U gamepad was such an underutilized device for the console. And with Pokemon Snap 2, you could easily use the gamepad, which has a camera, and you can point it at your TV, and it'll pick up part of the TV with the focus as if it's your camera lens. So you can move the gamepad around as if it's your camera, and the screen is your landscape. I think that it would be a really revolutionary mechanic design. So it's going to be a Wii U exclusive. Next, I don't even know what's going on here. Yeah. Look at all these Gen 5 Pokemon. I hate them. I would have preferred that Pokemon Snap 2 not have Gen 5 Pokemon.
You mean abominations.
Abominations, you're right. I'm so sorry. Pardon my whatever offensive language that was. But we've hit that road. This is happening. Buffalons are in there. Andrew was right. Taking pictures of cows is boring. And look at this. It's cows to take pictures of. I'm upset. But if Pokemon Snap embraces the changes that have been made in the rail shooter genre since its release, I'm sure we can see a much more grounded, interesting title. So, just add in some violence. Like that. Wait, wrong violence. There we go. Yeah, I'm talking a full-on Pokemon safari. I want to be able to break into the enclosure and not only take pictures of Pokemon, but hunt them. And I think the best way to hunt them would be, of course, with the Super Nintendo Super Scope. I chose the Super Scope for this because it's the most resembling a bazooka. And I don't know, I think if you blow up a Buffalon with a bazooka, it's going to be dead forever, and they're only going to be bits and pieces that make Bulletstorm blush. Now, I know what you're saying, Max. There's no way to plug a Super Scope into a Wii U. And to that I say, well, that's Nintendo's problem, not mine. Hopefully they'll figure it out.
Yeah, they got GameCube adapters all the way working, so they can get a Super Scope to work.
This is their problem.
Yeah. All right, well, my next demand is Pokemon Snap brought us some of the cutest shit this side of the world. I need more of this. I need more Pikachus riding on Voltorbs. I need more Pikachus riding on, I think it also rides on your legendary birds. But
a lot of stuff. A surfboard.
Pikachu on everything. We need more.
Lapras, I think.
Yeah.
I mean,
from the trailer, it's looking positive, but we absolutely have to have this game just overloaded with cute shit. I'll be just upset if it isn't. Because, honestly, we need the pickup after 2020.
Yeah, it needs to be adorable. Finally, I want a mobile port. It's criminal to keep Pokemon Snap from people who can't afford a full home console. The purpose of the Nintendo handheld branch is to make games for people who can't afford, a big TV, a big home console. Yeah, that means I don't want the mobile port for a phone. Fuck that. Everyone has a phone, sure, whatever, but putting a Pokemon game on the phone, this isn't 2016 anymore. Pokemon Go is an abject failure that no one ever played, and I don't want to recreate that situation. I want Pokemon Snap for the Game Boy Color. In fully rendered HD 4K, which we all know the Game Boy Color is perfectly capable of. The only downside, however, is all of that graphical intensity will leave the games in black and white, but that's a small price to pay for perfection. Additionally, with the Game Boy Color, with the Game Boy Camera add-on, you will be able to take photos in the real world and AR your Pokemon into them, something that Pokemon Snap has never done effectively. And from there, yes, of course, we're partnering with Blockbuster to allow people to print out the cameras again, print out the photos. Unfortunately, there is only one Blockbuster. It's in Bend, Oregon right now, and there's a pandemic, so if you go there, you'll definitely get COVID in the crowd. and it's Oregon, so it's on fire. But to stop Gap while Blockbuster reestablishes itself nationally, this game will be compatible with the Game Boy printer, so that you will finally be able to just print out your Pokemon photos at home from the luxury of your couch, and then, I don't know, tape them on your sister's door or whatever the fuck kids did with them. I don't know who the fuck bought a Game Boy printer. And at this point, a lot of you are asking, Max, is the entire premise of this PowerPoint presentation to try to drum up interest in all of the old video game peripherals and paraphernalia you have so you can sell them at a higher cost? And the answer is obviously yes, but I have more motives than just that. Because we're in 2020, we're looking at a worldwide economic depression because of the coronavirus. And I see Pokemon Snap 2 as a very promising economic stimulus package. Not only are we going to have to hire so many people to design the game and redesign it to our specifications, because Nintendo isn't doing anything we've asked, but you should fucking tweet at them to do whatever we asked. I don't know what the hashtag should be. What, like, hashtag justice for Harambe? Is that what we should go for?
Yeah, that sounds about right. I'm sure Nintendo will notice.
Yeah, they'll know. If you tweet hashtag justice for Harambe at Nintendo, I think they'll be able to read between the lines and know exactly what's going on here. Anyway, with the release of Pokemon Snap 2, if it requires a Wii U, a Super Scope, a Game Boy Color, a Game Boy Camera, and a Game Boy Printer, that is going to be a huge economic boon to local small video game stores. Not your GameStops who are evil and stole $60 from me, not your Targets who just suck in general, but your fair trade games, your retro game stores, your what have you. As everyone will have to go there and buy suddenly overpriced, in-demand Wii U's to play a game they've been waiting 2 decades for. And I think with that, we'll be able to save this country's economy and the world. Right, Andrew?
Hoorah. Yes.
Hoorah. Anyway, we'd like to... That's our panel. So a special thanks to Mavis Beacon for teaching us everything there is to know about zombie killing and typing.
I'd like to thank
Quick
Vin
brown
Diesel.
fox jumps over the lazy dog, and the lazy dog kills the zombie.
I forgot about that line.
Yeah.
Both in this panel and real life.
Clearly you never played Mavis Beacon. What were you, Jumpstart kid?
Probably blocked all that out. But I'd like to thank Vin Diesel for voicing the Iron Giant, because that made my childhood badass for sure.
Oh yeah, man. And Nintendo for finally making Pokemon Snap 2. It better be fucking good. You've made us wait 20 years. I mean, we had other demands. We could have demanded a GameCube port, a re-release of Pokemon Snap 1 to go with it, updated HD graphics, but no, we're keeping it simple and reasonable because we know if you ask for too much, you don't get anything. So you ask for just enough, and hopefully we'll get that, which in this case is being able to blow up a Buffalon with a goddamn bazooka.
Oh, please, oh, please.
Please, please, please.
I guess we should also thank our audience for putting up with our shit for 4 years now. Can you believe we've been paneling this bullshit for 4 years, Max?
I mean, no, because we'd be good at it if we'd been doing this for 4 years for real.
You
I'd
would hope.
like to think, you would hope, but we can't. I'd also like to thank Jackie Chan. I'm not sure what he did this time, but I'm sure it was probably pretty cool. I mean, he's Jackie fucking Chan.
Probably like
he was in The Medallion, The Tuxedo, Drunken Master, Jackie Chan Adventures, everything worthwhile in pop culture he was there for. He was only not in Shrek because they didn't pay him enough money to voice Shrek and Donkey.
And Professor Oak for always giving us that great advice, except for riding the bike indoors. I want to ride the bike fucking indoors.
Yeah, let me ride the bike indoors, Oak. And you can follow us on Twitter, again, at 5th Gen, not PKMN, or you can follow us on Twitch at twitch.tv/5thGenIsn'tPokemon. Sometimes we stream things. Mostly we stream Anime Survivor, which is where we take anime characters and put them in a Survivor simulator and just see what happens. I don't know, man. Kaguya from Love is War is pretty good at it. Bowser won a season once. It's fun. If you want someone to make up headcanon about Batman and Freakazoid and have it run for 10 weeks, we're your guys. Anyway, thank you for watching our panel. I hope you enjoy MAGWest 2020 and have a fantastic rest of your day.
Yeah, take care, MAGWest.
Woo!